Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ban with Retro Handhelds, or as usual, it's Ban's Hands. And today we're taking a look at a handheld that I've been kind of interested in for a little bit now, and that is the Powkiddy V20. This one was only announced just recently, and it's only just started shipping, so I'm kind of interested to take a look and see what we got. And on the side, you got the 5 colors: black, gray, yellow, white, black, and white. But this one's going to be the transparent black. I think if you go onto their website, it doesn't actually have all 5 of these colors available just yet. Right now, if you go to the Powkiddy website, it's $55. Though if you use coupon codes like Powkiddy Love, you can knock off $5, maybe $10. Let's get into it while I talk about the specs real quick. Allwinner A133P, powered by the PowerVR GE8300 GPU. 1 gig of RAM, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 3.5-inch 640 by 480 display. You get the usual Powkiddy accordion style manual. You've got USB-A to USB-C cable. You get 2 different stickers with this one. If there's one thing Powkiddy is known for, it's having those like fancy little stickers that they come with it to make your device a little bit fancier. This time it's just a cassette player. Yeah, I actually kind of like these. It's pretty nice. It definitely strikes me as like, hey, it looks a lot like the older RG353V, mixed a little bit with some of Powkiddy's other handhelds like the RGB20S. The transparent design gives me a little bit of a look kind of like the RGB20SX. Honestly, I kind of dig it. It's not that thick. If you've seen like the RGB20S or you've seen the RGB20 Pro, the shoulder buttons really just jut out. It's just pretty flat and it's got very minimal slope onto the shoulder buttons. Look at that. Instead of a sticker, they've just got it ingrained in the transparent plastic. Powkiddy Model V20. You can see the A133P, which is going to be a little bit questionable when you consider the fact that like the Mini 028 uses a little heat sink right there. So I'll be kind of curious to see how much it heats up. It's got a screw on the back so you can actually take this back panel off and get directly into the battery. I actually really like that. It's a nice little feature. On the sides, you've got 1 micro SD card as well as your volume up and down. The top, you've got nothing. On the bottom, you've got 2 USB-C ports as well as your 3.5mm headphone jack. You're looking at this one's OTG. This one is for power. And on this side, you've got power, reset, as well as your other micro SD card slot, which I noticed this one's actually empty, which tells me this is your OS slot and this is the one for ROMs, which feels almost a little bit backwards. On the front, you got your Switch style analog sticks. I'm not a fan of them. Magic X is using the like Retroid AYN style Hall sticks. Anbernick's using those now too. And personally, I kind of wish more companies moved on to that. Got your minus and your plus buttons up in the top left. Please make sure to like check the manual for that. Otherwise you will miss what those do. Start and select. There. Yeah, they're pretty clicky. Then of course, your face buttons. They're pretty light to press into, which is actually kind of a nice thing. Usually you're used to buttons that have that really hard initial press followed by like bottoming out really quickly. This feels, at least on my unit, to be pretty consistent from top to bottom. D-pad, it's a little bit stiffer and I can kind of feel it bouncing around as I move it back and forth. I think it feels a lot like some of the other Powkiddy D-pads, but it's not bad. Front facing mono speaker. This is good. I much prefer this to like, if you saw my GP430 video, they placed it right there where this headphone jack is. Meanwhile, this one, it's going to be blasting you right in the face. So let's get this turned on. They're using Batocera this time. I was really curious if like Powkiddy did something to it or if they just went Batocera, we're done. Honestly, if it's just straight up Batocera, I might not even have to do anything with it. One thing that I do want to mention really quickly is if you were to scroll through Powkiddy's whole web page on the V20, I did notice that they do not have anything regarding Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on here. No Wi-Fi. That means you're gonna have to use a tower, like a dongle tower of power. It's a bit unfortunate. They've just got everything packed right in here. Oh, yeah. Only the best games. Really, this is really just a Batocera install. There's nothing really too special about it. They even gave me Sonic Advance so I can do the test for the speakers. I mean, first glance, this might be one of those few like devices where you don't have to make adjustments to the operating system. But for now, here is your speaker test. I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit to what I kind of consider normal. Right about there. I mean, it's a nice panel, honestly. I don't know if it's just me, but I do hear a little bit of crackling every so often. So I do kind of have to wonder if that's the setup or if that's something else. Once again, this video is in 30 frames a second as I try and kind of figure out what's going on with my equipment. So if you notice it like lagging just a little bit, it's a lot smoother. On screen, it's moving a lot quicker than what it might be on here. Honestly, it's really not too bad, all things considered. So what do I think about this? A lot of the package of the V20 actually feels really nice. It's really what you expect out of most 3.5-inch 4x3 vertical handhelds. When you look at that $55 price, that's kind of where a lot of your A133P devices are landing. Whether that's the TrimUI Brick, the TrimUI Smart Pro, it could be, you know, the Magic X Mini 028. If you want the smallest device possible, that's not going to be this. If you want something horizontal, that's not going to be this. Even if you wanted something with a higher resolution screen, that's really not this one either. The TrimUI Brick has a higher resolution screen despite being a little bit smaller. The TrimUI Smart Pro has a larger, higher resolution display. Magic X Mini 028, even that has a smaller screen, but it's the same resolution, so it looks higher resolution because the pixels are so cramped together. For something that kind of out of the box, it just worked completely fine. It's gonna end up being larger than a TrimUI Brick, but I think, if I don't throw it, it's gonna end up being a lot more comfortable too, because, well, it just has a little bit more to grab onto. Hopefully, since it's using the A133P, it's going to bring a whole bunch of extra like operating systems to it, because I think this thing has a lot of promise to it to get just as good as the rest of the devices. But we'll just have to wait and see. $55 if you get the 64 gig model with nothing else, and as a package is honestly pretty nice if you don't mind the Powkiddy quality control. Anyways, make sure you kind of keep an eye out on retrohandhelds.gg, the website. I'm going to be putting out hopefully first impressions of this, and also take a look at the RH YouTube channel. Stubbs is going to be getting one of these in as well, so he'll probably take the review video for that. And I mean, hopefully this thing gets into a lot of hands so that we can help kind of develop it a little bit more, because I mean, while out of the box is really nice, I think there's still going to be a few quirks that we come across. Just if the community likes it, the community will eventually fix it. That's been the Powkiddy V20. This guy has been Band's Hands, and as always, hey, thank you for watching.